There comes a time in every knife collecting journey when you must admit to yourself that you have too many knives to carry them all every single day. And when that day comes for you, you will have to find a knife storage solution. And today on Tutorial Tuesday, I'm going to show you how to store your knives. When it comes to storing your knives, there is a big question you need to ask, and as a husband, I will tell you it is best to ask this with your significant other should you have one, because it's a big decision for your home, and that is, do I want to display my knives? And if the answer is yes, I got some options for you. The first one is you can just kind of leave your knife out. As long as it's not a safety hazard, just let it be. This is a great place to have it if it's going to be used a lot. This is how kitchen knives are most often stored, just in a block on the kitchen counter. But this is a great place to just keep the knife and have it used. However, it does kind of sit out of the way. It's not as lookable. And it's also not a very pretty or orderly way to store your knife so much. And if you want to sort of zhuzh it up a little bit, then you can get one of these little knife stands. You can buy these from some companies, or you can go to Yegi and there's a bunch of 3D prints you can download for free of all of the ways to get these little knife stands. You just put your edge right in it. You just let your knife be like that. It's a great way to show it off, especially if you got something pretty like this castrum that has this beautiful curly birch handle. It's a good looking thing. It's easy, simple, cheap. It's great. And if you want to really level it up, there are some big knife stands out there, like this guy right here that holds 5. This one lives on my desk and it holds 5 knives that are kind of fun to look at or have a fun story behind them. This is a great solution. However, you can brush up against tips on these and edges, and sometimes these can pose a bit of a safety risk. So if you're going to use one of these, I'd recommend keeping it on a shelf or on a bookcase or somewhere tucked away where it's not getting a lot of hand or foot traffic. If it is getting a lot of traffic and you still want to show the knife off but keep it a little bit safe, you might try one of these shadow boxes. These are kind of fun because they have a big glass, or in this case, acrylic case on top, and then underneath you have a knife. And you can't touch it, it'll keep little fingers out, and it'll still show the knife off in all of its glory. This is how museums tend to show things off because you can see it from all sides, but who's to say you can't use a similar solution in your house? Speaking of commercial solutions for displaying your knives, you can take a page out of our book here. We're here in the Blade HQ storefront in Pleasant Grove, Utah, and you can see we have these glass cases that are just filled with knives. If you're a general contractor or you know one and are willing to spend a lot of money to make it, you can build these cases with locks and glass and mirrors and everything. Or if you're looking to save a little bit of money, you can even do a pegboard like we have behind us in the regular studio. There's a lot of ways to store your knives in a way that shows them off. And I think if you're looking for ideas, retail and museums are the place to look for inspiration, but these are some great ideas. However, should you choose that you do not want to display your knives, we have options there as well. Starting with something as simple as the cardboard box. Everybody has these. These are free. People can't give them away. People pay a lot of money to have them disposed of. This is a great way to store them. I tend to keep my big fixed blades in here because this does have the weakness of it kind of lets your knives bounce around and scratch each other up, but these are knives I like to use, and they live in this box, or sometimes even in a backpack, and they're just a nice, simple place to put it. So you don't have to go crazy if you want to store your knives out of public view. The box is a great solution. However, if you want something a little bit more deliberate, you might grab one of these knife rolls at bladehq.com. We have them in these smaller sizes, or we have the big ones as well. And these are just rolls you stuff full of knives. They do a good job of holding a lot of knives, however, they do have a limitation on size. If you want to have a big one, it kind of has to live at the top, like my 4MAX Scout here. It does not like to roll nicely if it's at the bottom. So smaller knives at the bottom, bigger knives at the top, and then there's kind of a glass ceiling there if you want to get any bigger than that. This is a great way to store a few knives. The big ones can store a lot of knives, but they don't roll at all. They're more like door hanging. They're almost a display in their own right. But these are a great solution. If you want a little bit more protection and maybe even more capacity, I might recommend a Pelican case, kind of like this guy. This one's a lot of fun. It has these clasps, nice, solid feeling, waterproof, impact resistant box. And then inside we have all the knives. This stores a lot of knives, however, once again, a size limitation. I have to keep my amphibian here at the front because if it's at the back, it won't let the box close properly. But these do a really good job of protecting your knives. If you have small knives, like this is Sanzo, sometimes it's a little bit hard to get your fingers in to get it out. So I'd recommend for reasonable sized knives to live in these things. Another problem with these is these are expensive. These are like over $100 just for this box. But they do a good job of protecting your knives. If you have a lot of very valuable knives and you're not looking for a locked case display solution, I would really recommend one of these because you just close it, throw padlocks on it, and your knives are safe so long as your box doesn't get stolen and somebody cut it off later. And the last option is a great big toolbox like you find in a garage, one of those snap-on cases or any of the other brands of tool things. These are good at storing knives, which are tools. They're designed for that. However, they do have a few limitations. One limitation is mobility. They do not move very well. So they'll stay in your garage, they'll stay in your garage. They're not coming to your living room to show off to your buddies. They're not coming to work to show off to everybody. They are just there. And they're a great place to keep knives. However, if you want mobility, I would recommend going elsewhere. I advise that you find a way to store your knives that works for your lifestyle. Something that makes you happy, that reminds you of how wonderful your knives are, and most importantly, keeps you and your family safe. You can find all these solutions at bladehq.com, or if you're gonna 3D print, you can find them over at Yegi. Please do store your knives in a way that treats them nicely. We love knives. Take care, and we'll see you next time.